Have you ever wondered if the doors that slam shut in front of your face are actually paths leading to a new horizon? Do the most winding and arduous turns in life perhaps serve as fate's way of protecting us from abysses we never knew existed? The story of the scholar named Danny, which I am about to tell, might just give you an answer. Danny was a scholar renowned throughout the region for his literary talent and benevolent heart. He lived a tranquil life, finding joy in reading the books of ancient sages and tutoring a few students. Danny believed in righteousness, in the fairness of the law, and that the written word would always convey the truth. But then one day, his faith was shaken to its very foundations. Merely for an essay discussing the virtues of those in power, written with frankness yet stemming from a steadfast heart, Danny was summoned by the local magistrate. His words were twisted, interpreted as seditious intent. No explanation was heard. The cold gate of the Yamen slammed shut behind him, and Danny was cast into a dark dungeon, bearing an unjust accusation. In the damp and gloomy confines of the prison, Danny's world seemed to crumble. He doubted everything, the justice he had always revered, the very value of the words he had dedicated his life to pursuing. Grief and disappointment gnawed at his soul, transforming the gentle scholar into a silent shadow, plunged into despair. The days in prison dragged on heavily. Danny merely sat with his knees hugged in a dark corner, listening to the incessant chirping of insects and the weary sighs of other inmates. One afternoon, the old guard brought Danny his meal. He was a man of few words, with a weathered face, yet his eyes held a deep understanding. He placed the bowl of rice down and softly said, "Scholar, I heard you had an appointment with a friend at the South Market today, didn't you?" Danny nodded, his heart growing even more bitter. It was a kindred spirit he had arranged to meet to discuss literature and enjoy tea. Now the appointment was irrevocably missed. The old guard sighed and continued, "Then you have truly been blessed by heaven." This afternoon, a massive brawl erupted at that very market between two rival gangs. Blood flowed like a river, blades glinted, and several innocent passers-by were caught in the crossfire, some gravely wounded, others losing their lives. Had you gone there, who knows what fate would have befallen you? The old guard's words struck Danny like a thunderclap. He was stunned. The very place where he was confined, the place he considered an earthly hell, was precisely what had kept him safe, helping him avoid a deadly catastrophe. This strangely fortuitous turn of events made Danny begin to ponder. A few days later, a Taoist priest visited the prison. Having heard of Danny's extensive learning, he sought him out for a conversation. Noticing the lingering melancholy on Danny's face, the Taoist smiled benignly. "I see doubt and resentment in your eyes." The Taoist calmly continued, "The wheel of fortune turns, and blessings and misfortunes are beyond reckoning. Sometimes the smoothest path leads to an abyss, while a winding, arduous road is there to help us avoid a raging tempest. Your presence here, though an immediate misfortune, who knows, might be a blessing for a longer journey." The old guard, who happened to be passing by and overheard the conversation, added, "The Taoist master speaks truly. All my life here, I've witnessed many peculiar things. Some thought losing possessions was a calamity, only to find it helped them avoid a stormy sea voyage. Some thought missing an appointment was ill luck, only to escape a house fire. Everything happens for a reason, scholar." The words of the Taoist and the old guard were like cool water irrigating Danny's parched soul. He no longer wallowed in sorrow but began to contemplate, re-examining the events of his life through a different lens. He understood that perhaps this was a trial, a necessary detour that fate had intended for him. A week later, Danny was exonerated and released. The magistrate, after a more thorough investigation, recognized the grave misunderstanding. Stepping out of the prison gate, Danny took a deep breath of the fresh air. His heart felt strangely serene. Upon returning home, he received an urgent letter from a distant mountain region. It was from Luca, a former student whom Danny cherished dearly. Luca, intelligent and resourceful, had, after leaving his teacher, ventured into the mountainous region to manage a large trading post facilitating commerce between the lowlands and the mountain tribes. In the letter, Luca recounted that the trading post had recently been plagued by persistent instability. Goods in the warehouse were mysteriously dwindling, and accounting ledgers were subtly altered, causing suspicion and discord among the staff. All suspicion fell on the old storekeeper, a man who had worked there for decades but possessed a gruff, unapproachable demeanor. Luca believed the storekeeper was innocent but lacked the evidence to prove it. He knew his teacher possessed not only scholarly knowledge but also keen observational and deductive abilities, and thus earnestly invited Danny to come and assist. Reading the letter, Danny felt a powerful pull. Had it not been for the incident of his imprisonment, he would likely still be engrossed in literary discussions and elegant social engagements and would never have been able to accept Luca's offer. He realized that the circuitous path had led him to a new juncture, a place where he was truly needed. Danny immediately packed his bags and set off. The trading post was perched precariously on the mountainside, the air crisp but holding an invisible tension. Luca joyfully welcomed his teacher. Danny did not rush his investigation. He spent time observing his surroundings, conversing with the porters, the merchants, and even the suspected storekeeper. With his keen perception and gentle demeanor, Danny gradually discerned the undercurrent of the situation. The storekeeper, though gruff, was an honest and responsible man. His eyes, though somewhat weary, held no trace of deceit. In contrast, Danny paid close attention to a very young bookkeeper. The young man always appeared diligent and polite, but his eyes frequently darted away, and his hands occasionally trembled inexplicably. Instead of focusing on the large sums of missing inventory, Danny meticulously examined the smallest entries, the details that people typically overlooked. He uncovered a pattern. Goods were not disappearing in large quantities, but rather dwindling gradually, a little at a time, and the ledgers were cleverly modified to conceal these minor discrepancies. This was not the modus operandi of a greedy individual, but rather the desperate act of someone coerced, attempting to cover their tracks in fear. One evening, Danny sought out the young bookkeeper for a private conversation. He did not interrogate him, but gently recounted a story about trust and the solace of repentance. He spoke of the heavy burden of secrets and the profound peace that comes from living truthfully. Faced with a compassionate heart and profound understanding of his revered teacher, the young man broke down in tears and confessed everything. He was not the thief. His family back in his hometown was being threatened by a ruthless loan shark. The shark had forced him to siphon goods out little by little and alter the ledgers to repay the debt. He had been utterly terrified and tormented, not daring to reveal the truth. The truth was brought to light. Danny, together with Luca, helped the young man report the matter to the authorities, exposing the wicked loan shark. The old storekeeper was exonerated amidst heartfelt emotion. The trading post resumed its operations in harmony and trust. Luca was immensely grateful, saying to Danny, "Teacher, if not for you, I might have wrongly accused an innocent man and allowed the villain to continue his schemes. It is truly fortunate that you arrived here at precisely the right moment." On his journey back, gazing at the undulating mountains shrouded in clouds, Danny smiled serenely. He reflected on his entire journey. Had it not been for the misunderstood essay, he would not have been imprisoned. Had he not been imprisoned, he might have faced deadly peril at the South Market. Had it not been for those days in the dark dungeon, contemplating the truths of life, he might not have possessed the composure and profound insight to accept Luca's invitation. And had he not come to this trading post, he would not have been able to help Luca resolve the difficulties, restore the good name of an innocent person, and bring peace to an entire community. The incident, which had seemed like a terrible catastrophe, was precisely the thread that guided him to the very place he needed to be at the exact moment he needed to be present. Downey's story reminds us that life is inherently a tapestry woven with threads of light and shadow. Do not be quick to lament when faced with adversity, nor be swift to despair when a door closes. For everything that happens has its reason. Sometimes, what seems like a setback opens up an alternative path, an opportunity we had never even conceived of. Continue to walk patiently, keeping an open heart and a discerning perspective. Then you will realize that the seemingly meaningless detours are, in fact, the shortest route to blessings and to profound peace within your soul.